I don't know who that is.
Hey,
Hey, we're live.
we're
Oh,
live.
do I do the intro?
Well, are we live everywhere?
I mean, I'm live on Twitch. I can see myself talking after about 4 seconds.
No, a little bit of a delay there on Twitch. What about the YouTube?
I don't know.
It looks like we're live on the YouTube as well.
I don't know. Watcha.
Yay! It's Geo, by the way. It is Geo. You're right.
Yeah.
You were absolutely right, Chris. Hey, Geo. How's it going?
I can't believe I guessed that.
I can't believe. I was just like, hey, somebody followed us 30 minutes before we started. Was
Yeah.
it Geo? Yes, apparently so. Apparently so. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, I do we start? I don't know how we do live shows. I don't know what to do.
I'm just going to do the intro.
You want to do the intro? Go for it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Sci-Fi Wise Guys. My name is Chris.
And my name is Anthony.
Hello, Anthony.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Here on the Sci-Fi Wise Guys, we watch and review science fiction and science fiction adjacent visual entertainment media, which apparently includes all of the Dungeons and Dragons movies now
All of them.
so far.
All of them.
There's an animated one that we missed that we might. I don't know if we'll have time to watch and record that one, but
We're
it's a maybe.
we'll see. Well, maybe.
It's
All
a,
the live action though.
it's a
All the
maybe.
live action.
It's a maybe. Less
No.
nay, more yay. So, maybe.
Sure. I don't know, man. It's good. It's fun, but maybe we save the animated stuff for when the next Honor Among Thieves comes out. You know what I mean?
When we desperately need content.
We don't desperately need content right now. Do we?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Well, how did we come to the conclusion that D&D is sci-fi? Simple, Gio. We had this discussion on your podcast. Fantasy is considered science fiction.
Done.
Yeah. So
End of argument.
And I'm pretty sure that what's his face? Orson Scott Card himself once said that technologically so advanced would appear.
Technologically so advanced.
No, I said technology. Technology would be so advanced that it would appear as magic to the people who don't know about it.
Who said that again?
Orson Scott Card, I think, the Ender's Game guy.
Orson Scott Card. Yeah.
Shout out to one of the OGs. Hi, Steph.
Hello,
Steph Straw.
Steph Straw Games.
Oh.
Dude, there is. Is fantasy. Let's have this conversation. Is fantasy part of science fiction, or is it all just speculative fiction subgenres?
I think we Googled it when we first started.
Did we?
Yes. Steph Straw Games, there might be spoilers. Yeah.
Yeah. Not for a little bit.
Yeah. We'll give you a spoiler warning in advance.
Have you seen any trailers?
Let's see.
Got
is fantasy science fiction?
This is a great pod. Producer, can you pull up whether or not science fiction or fantasy is science fiction or vice versa? This is a great pod. We're on it. Googling it.
I know there's a big debate for sure, but
all right, look. Fantasy deals with the impossible, whereas science fiction deals with the possible.
according to Wikipedia,
Wikipedia,
science fiction is a genre of speculative fiction which typically deals with imaginative and futuristic concepts such as advanced science and technology, space exploration, time travel, parallel universes, and extraterrestrial life. Now,
well, see, there's a lot of overlap there.
Now,
There's a lot of
if I may,
I guess.
The Dragonborn in the Faerun universe actually come from a completely different dimension.
Yeah.
When Aebir and Toril crash together, these two different realms
This is the nerdiest podcast we've ever
smashed
had.
together. So would you? So is someone from a alternate dimension? Would you consider that an alien? If they're not a human, like right, like if another realm smashed into our realm, and then all of a sudden we had cat people on planet Earth, would are they extraterrestrials? Are they aliens?
I don't know. They're not extraterrestrials,
They'd come from a different planet.
but they're not. They come from a different universe, maybe not a different planet. I don't know. Are they extraterrestrial?
No. In this instance,
Is it
Aebir
just
and Toril
aliens?
are two different planets,
Oh,
but they're on different. They're in different realms. We had this
Oh.
discussion with a couple of episodes ago with the way that Wizards of the Coast
Spheres?
handles the spheres. They were in
Oh,
different
Snow Angel
spheres.
says she's lost brain cells listening to us right now.
Well,
Um,
I got nothing.
she needs to keep those. She doesn't have a lot.
I got nothing. No, I'm just
Like,
saying. I
yeah.
guess you could consider them
You could consider them
aliens. I'm just saying.
aliens. Yeah. No, I would. I don't know. Maybe.
What was that? Didn't you tell me about a science fiction series or book that you were reading where maybe not a book or a show or a story or something like that where the like what we would consider magic was just someone's like the ability to manipulate nanites in the air.
No, that does not sound familiar.
Oh,
But
maybe it wasn't
that
you.
sounds like. Well, it sounds like something might have come up, but I don't
Yeah,
recall.
I don't it might have been Ray from Science Fiction Remnant. But I remember talking about it with somebody. But yeah, like what they considered
Interesting.
magic was just someone's ability to manipulate nanites in the air. So all aliens are hot. I didn't know you felt that way about Rex.
I do. Oh, especially about Rex.
Shepherd.
Eventually.
Shepherd, my friend.
Oh yeah. Well, I do feel that way about Garrus. Let's just be.
Ugh.
Let's just
No,
swear.
no, Garrus is fine. He's fine.
And Worf and Spock. What's some other aliens? Chewbacca.
V'ger. V'ger's an alien.
V'ger is an alien I find very attractive.
They're so attractive. They're coming to Earth right now.
Yeah, I can't stop it from coming. Oh God. Various Borg drones.
We should talk about the show, the movie.
We can, well, let's talk about some other before we get to D&D.
Sure.
Before we get to D&D. I'm glad you agree. Sci-fi Remnant, the V'ger is hot.
Feature.
In the cold of space, even like overcoming a lot of physical obstacles there. Normally like we talk about like this week or this month or whatever in science fiction and new things that have come up, things that we've been up to, things that we've been doing, reading, playing, whatever. As far as news goes, we got Star Wars celebrations happening right now. They've announced 3 new movies, a couple of new television shows.
Yeah.
Honestly, hot take right up front. Feels like they're throwing a lot of shit at the wall to see what sticks. They got 3 movies they've announced, or 3, depending on how you hold your hands up. 1,
3 if you don't want to get killed by a Nazi officer.
yeah. This one? Is this how we do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You get. There's a movie in 3 different eras. Like there's a movie that takes place way back when in the Old Republic, the High Jedi or whatever. There's a movie where Daisy Ridley is coming back. It's going to be like 15 years after the last one, and kind of the new Jedi Order stuff. And then there's another one that's supposed to basically be concurrent or maybe a capstone to all of like the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka stuff that's going on right now. So they've spread out 3 different times. They're I don't know, 3 different eras, I guess,
Hmm.
to try to see. I It could just be they don't want to step on each other's toes and they want to be able to do whatever they want. But on the other hand,
Well, I think part of that is um, they don't want to do another trilogy
oh sure,
because the last two that they did, regardless of how whether or not people feel strongly one way or another about them, while wildly successful at the box office, maybe not
sure.
successful critically. Um,
I,
and
what do you mean
there's just been a lot of distemperament on the internets for the various movies. Um,
distemperament?
I
Is
also have
that what you're gonna go with?
yeah, I also have news about Disney/Marvel, but go ahead and continue, please.
No, I was just kind of. I think the only thing we've actually seen is a trailer for Ahsoka, which
Mm.
looked pretty good. I was pretty impressed. Looks like it's maybe some Rebels stuff going on. She did use when referring to Thrawn, she used the term "heir to the Empire,"
Which it's a book, right?
which is a fantastic book. Yes, one of the Timothy Zahn, like the first of the what was then the extended universe, now is nothing, I guess. Novels, the trilogy there.
Shout out to
So
Thrawn. Yeah.
yeah, Thrawn's awesome. But Timothy Zahn, like I actually really enjoy Timothy Zahn's one of my favorite authors in general, not just for his Star Wars stuff, but I've read a lot of his original science fiction.
Let me go through his filmography real quick. Or not, maybe not.
Bibliography?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I
Bibliography.
don't
Yes,
think
thank
it's
you.
got a filmography.
Let's see, because that name sounds familiar for sure.
Well, for Star Wars, he did the Thrawn trilogy and then later a duology. He started off with more action science fiction. They had the Conquerors trilogy. Um, let's pull him up. Let's pull him up.
Yeah,
With
I think
Timothy
yeah,
Zahn.
yeah. Conquerors. Yeah, the Conquerors books. Yeah. So there's a bookstore in our town. That's not that's not Timothy Zahn. Uh, um, and they've got a really cool science fiction section. I remember going in there a lot and seeing his name and seeing I guess Conqueror's Pride, seeing that book
Yeah,
cover a couple times.
I mean, I could spoil those books. They're pretty good. I think you would
Yeah,
actually really like them.
yeah,
You have a Wikipedia entry we can put on screen?
yeah. I'm looking at his bibliography right now. Um, but yeah, Hugo
Yeah.
Award
Look at
winner.
that. Look at
Rad.
that guy. He looks exactly like you would expect.
He looks like Mike Myers, the guy
A
that.
little. A
Yeah.
little. Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's see. So let's scroll down to his bibliography here. Oh yeah, click on that main article. Timothy Zahn bibliography.
Oh, the Icarus Hunt. That sounds familiar.
I've read the Icarus Hunt. So he did some newer Thrawn books. I've read, I think, one of the graphic novels. I've read a bunch of like he had a
Neat.
collection of short stories. I really like him. I really like his style. It's really easy to read. Um, like they're not overly difficult, even when they deal with pretty in depth science fiction concepts at times. Um, and then like I said, a lot of times it's just his early stuff's
Neat.
more action, war based. It's nifty, nifty.
Well, my news is that what I have predicted long ago is
Uh-oh.
coming true.
What happened?
The bubble is beginning to burst.
Oh well.
Disney announced that they would restrict their releases of Marvel properties, specifically movies and shows, down.
Good.
They I, it we talked about this a while ago. About every 15, 20 years it starts to happen. Eventually all movie bubbles burst. I mean, obviously I feel like I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't have a lot of fun along the way.
Yeah.
I enjoyed a lot of Marvel properties, a lot of the movies, a lot of the shows are really, really good. Some of them aren't great. So,
Yeah.
but it's just eventually it happens, and I actually knew the moment it was going to happen when I was sitting through Shang-Chi and the 12 Rings or whatever it's called, and I was like, when they spoilers when they had the big CGI fight at the very end, I was like, okay, they have to stop making these. Like they just can't keep doing the exact same thing over and over again. So
I really liked that one.
yeah, no, it was fun.
Yeah, I like that. Well, I mean, I
Yeah,
enjoyed it quite a bit. I
it
enjoyed
was
it quite a
just
bit.
it was still a movie where your lead
Yeah.
has father figure issues, runs
Oh.
away from his trouble,
Hmm.
comes back, and then fights a big CGI monster, which is every single one of the Marvel movies so far.
Hold on.
So
There's not always a big CGI. There's a big CGI fight, I guess.
oh, I don't want a Firefly reboot.
Um,
I don't want that.
yeah, Sci-Fi Remnant in the chat talking about a possible Firefly reboot. Here's
Yeah.
the thing about Firefly reboot. And I know that like we have a reputation on this podcast for alienating our key demographics, and for better or for worse. And I think that I'm just going to lean into that right now. Firefly is not worth rebooting.
It didn't work twice.
Yeah, it didn't work twice, and I'm also not too hot on Joss Whedon at the moment. So I'm feeling like maybe
It's the most reasonable take I've heard on why they should do that.
because I'm not too hot on him right now.
Yeah.
I didn't know how else to put that.
Yeah. No,
I mean, you can
think,
cry. We can
yeah.
cry about it and wish there was, wish it was something else. But
No.
Disney Firefly,
No.
science fiction
this-
remnant.
is
I
this-
thought
Is this Robert?
I.
It's time for Universal to rekindle. Oh, yeah, the Dark Universe. That kind of just. I don't know. Maybe just don't let Tom Cruise get involved next time.
It's excellent advice. Excellent advice. You know
Just
what?
let-
Just whatever you're gonna do,
Just let him
don't
fly
get Tom
planes.
Cruise.
Just let him fly planes and jump out of them. He doesn't need to be hunting down mummies or whatever he's doing. In that movie. Senile Skittles, we have not talked about the new movie just yet.
Yeah, we're
we're-
making jokes at Joss Whedon's expense.
He's a punching bag. Scientology.
I guess if you're gonna make Scientology the movie,
They did that.
do you not? What is that
Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth? Was Tom
Yeah.
Cruise in that, or was that
No,
just the other one?
It was Johnny T.
Yeah, that's the other one.
That
let's
one
pull it
guy, that one gentleman. I forget his name. He's got the eye thing.
He's got the eye thing.
I can't get his name now. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Let's pull it. Let's pull that up. Let's pull it.
Yeah,
Let me
Battlefield.
find that. Let's
Johnny
see.
T. Yeah, no, I love Johnny T. Man, Taking a Pelham. 134. What was that? 143.
3, 2,
Remember that
1,
movie?
I thought. I don't remember. It was
The train one?
The train one. It was a good movie.
Not Johnny T. Battlefield Earth. What is Kat doing? Is she on?
Forrest Whitaker.
Yes, Forrest Whitaker. Thank you.
Barry
Yeah.
Pepper. Did you?
Yeah.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah,
All right, hey,
my favorite part about that movie is it was shot like this.
I'm gonna let's look at the Battlefield Earth. Let's look at the cast
Yeah.
list here. I'm
It's a
gonna
pretty
give
big
you.
cast.
I'm gonna share something I've never shared before. I've never seen this movie, which means that we should probably review it. Yeah,
I've seen it a few times. I don't know.
a few times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the IMDb rating on this thing?
I mean,
Kim
I make
Coates?
people.
Kim Coates is in this.
Yeah.
Oh man. 2.
Sometimes, when it's late and you have nothing else to do, and
I
you're
think
just
the-
like, and you're like, you know what? I didn't do anything remarkably, what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't accomplish anything today, and I'm gonna capstone that by watching
Battlefield Earth. Look, I'm gonna segue this into D&D. Can we
Okay.
look up the Dungeons and Dragons 2000 movie? This has got a 2.5. Battlefield Earth has got a 2.5 out
I
of
think
10.
D&D had a 4. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, down there with
2000.
Justin Whalen and Jeremy
Yeah,
Irons.
with cheekbones and Jeremy Irons. Yeah.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons 2000's right there.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
It's all good. It's all good. 3.6.
Ooh, Yeah.
So you're telling me that this movie, which you detested, is better than Battlefield Earth, which you've seen multiple times?
Well, I mean, I've seen this movie. I've seen Dungeons and Dragons 2000 multiple times.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Look, let's segue. Let's segue. Dungeons and Dragons. So, not all the episodes have released, but we have watched and recorded, and started to release episodes on Dungeons and Dragons, the year 2000 movie, the sequel, the direct to Sci-Fi Channel sequel from 2005, Dungeons and Dragons: Wrath of the Dragon God, of which there were no gods, and then 2012's also direct to DVD / Sci-Fi. No, not Sci-Fi Channel, because it was UK or whatever. The Book of Vile Evil.
Yeah.
Book of Vile Evil.
What was it? What was the German one again?
The book of the Wrath of the German God, or the German God.
Dungeon.
Wrath of the Dragon God was called the Book of Elemental Might or something like that, or Elemental Evil, in the wider release.
Darkness,
So,
German.
because we felt like it wasn't good enough for us to just review Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, a thing that a lot of other better podcasts are going to do.
Here we go. Das
Yeah.
Buch der Duncan Schlatten.
Is that's
that was
it, huh?
that was the German, yeah.
Good. Good. They got better as they went along. Like the third one was better than the second one, was better than the first one, but like pretty good strides. Like I'd call the first one is what we in this podcast like to call a bad movie. And the second one is what we like to call it was all right. I didn't hate it. Go for it, I guess.
It had some problems.
But and then the third one was actually kind of fun, if oddly toned at the very, very least. It did have my favorite moment out of any of the, including Honor Among Thieves, the moment in Book of Vile Evil where he poisons the Goliath, stuffs his body into a bag of holding,
Along with
and then
16,000 gold coins.
16 or 60,000 gold coins, and then tosses the bag of holding into a lake they were camping by.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's jump into Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
And he was a paladin.
He was a paladin, and he was a paladin on top of all of those things. Oh, it was great. Oh, it's really good.
What a great movie.
Oh, the movie is solid, super solid. Let's get some facts. Let's get some facts for Honor Among Thieves out of the way here.
Well,
What?
you got a
What's that?
blurb.
Yeah, that's the first fact. Is a blurb. The
I don't think
blurb.
we were gonna do
A
that.
charming thief and a band of unlikely adventurers embark on an epic quest to retrieve a lost relic. But things go dangerously awry when they run afoul of the wrong people. How do you feel about that blurb?
I mean, is he a thief? I guess in the most technical term, they're all thieves.
Yes. But he's the only charming one, right?
I don't know. I think Holga's got a certain. She's got a certain charm.
Does she?
Are you guys gonna kiss with with his lips?
Okay.
And it just is the way he looks at her, like it's great.
was good. It was
No,
good.
I think it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate.
It's pretty accurate. All right, let's run through these ratings then. As you can see on IMDb, it's sitting at 7.6 out of 10 stars, with 27,000 ratings. It's giving it a median score of 8. Over on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 90% fresh rating with a 94% audience score. Critics' consensus: an infectiously good-spirited comedy with a solid emotional core, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves offers fun fantasy and adventure, even if you don't know your HP from your OP. Oh God!
Hold on a second. No, keep going.
No, audience consensus. Audience says the movie entertainingly blends action, fantasy, and comedy, all while respecting the source material. All right. Enough of that. Moving over to Metacritic. 72 Metascore, 7.6 user score, and then rounding out with the new kid, Letterboxed, 3.7 out of 5 stars. So sitting at what is that, like a 7.4 if we translate it to 10? Very, very nice. Um, it's weird that I found it weird that I think the IMDb score is a little low when you compare it to the rest of them. Like I expect
Um,
Metacritic to be a little lower, 72, okay. User score 7.6.
let's look at the breakdown on the IMDb
Like
scores.
we click the breakdown.
Click on the ratings, please, Kat. An astonishing low number of 1-star reviews. I think that's what I was really afraid of.
No, not a whole lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's I think a lot of people just kind of like, all right, it's an
I mean,
8. It's a
it's.
7.
I think it's a pretty high. I think they met a pretty high bar.
Oh, for sure.
I
Yeah.
mean, like the world we live in today, especially with a lot of the backlash that Wizards of the Coast is getting.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. You okay?
I'm actually now my cat's trying to jump on my desk, which will inevitably enter in front of the camera. Um, and as much as everyone wants to see that, I don't want to deal with it. No, I just think that we'll talk about it later. I think that the ratings are pretty accurate. I think it's
Sure.
like the overall ratings probably a little bit low.
Okay.
But I mean, it's just nearly identical nines and tens. So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
What no, I mean, go right ahead. Take the floor. What were your initial thoughts, opinions? How
Um,
did you feel? You have the bigger history with the property between
well,
the two of us.
yeah,
So,
especially with my boy Chris Pine. Shout out, doing it for
yeah.
the Chris's.
Yeah.
No, I think this movie does a lot of things really well. In short, I liked it. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of laughs. Might have been some tears in the theater. Not gonna
Mm,
lie. Um, I think Hugh Grant really stole the show on this one, but which is really funny because he's really known for being a bumbling idiot. Like like as an actor, I don't know how he is in real life, because it's his job. But I feel like every movie he's ever been in, he kind of, just kind of talks like this.
yeah.
And he's made a career out of it. And I think spoilers in 3, 2, 1, making a con man, someone who can barely say words out loud, um, and stumble over them a little bit, I think is a very it was a really good choice. Um, in fact, his line right at the beginning of the movie, he's like, "Why did you put your faith in a con man?" Like,
Yeah.
just really made me giggle. So I saw this on a Saturday. There were 4 other people in the movie theater with me, aside from eBay. And no, I wasn't the only person laughing. It was pretty raucous for a 6-person theater audience. I think all the actors do a pretty good job. I think like a lot of people on the internet are saying, what's this gentleman's name? Renee, uh, Regé Jean Page, who played Zinc,
Yeah.
the Thayan Paladin.
The DM
Um,
player character.
uh, he uh, he was really good. I think I think that a lot of people are talking about his performance. His like the fact that he's so literal. I thought you would like that.
Oh yeah.
Um, Michelle Rodriguez, kicking ass since 1999. Shout out. Um, and then I think a lot of the other newcomers, when I say they're newcomers, I just don't think I've ever really seen them on screen. Uh, Justice Smith, Sophia Lillis, and Chloe Coleman and Daisy Head. I thought they did a really good job. I thought it was I thought everything was well acted. I thought for
Okay.
the most part everyone did a really, really good job. Um,
I'm waiting.
I didn't realize that Chloe Coleman was in the My Spy with Dave Bautista. That's funny. Um, yeah, no, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Any
Yeah.
particular like any scenes that stood out to you? Like like you once told me that uh, when you went to go see Star Trek 2009, you sat in the theater, leaned forward with your hands like this the entire time.
I did do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like what was your approach to this? Like was it similar to that or were you
No,
just we watched those other D&D movies so maybe you were just like finally something decent?
no, I think that like I think I knew the all along that this movie was going to be successful. Like I
Successful doesn't mean you like it. Doesn't mean
right, right,
you
right,
enjoyed
right,
the
right.
portrayal
Well,
of
I'm getting there. I'm
okay.
getting there.
All
Why don't
right,
you
all
let
right.
me let me do my thing? Um, I like I knew it was going to be well acted. I knew it was going to be well shot. I knew that the CGI was going to be really good. What I didn't know is whether or not they were going to capture the essence of the property, and I
Okay.
think that they were successful in doing that um, to a great degree. All of the characters, I've I don't want to say I've played alongside all of them.
Mhm.
I may have been one or two of them. Um, the bumbling sorcerer who can't cast a spell to save his life. Um, and
Yeah.
then I, sorry, she meowed. And then and then the barbarian. I mean, I didn't play a female Goliath that's shorter than a human, but
I don't think she's a Goliath.
I think she said she comes from a tribe of Goliaths, or maybe just a barbarian tribe.
It's just a
I think maybe
barbarian
just a
tribe. I don't think
barbarian
she's a
tribe. Yeah,
Goliath. 'Cause aren't
yeah, yeah,
Goliaths
yeah.
like silver or gray or something? We saw a Goliath. We done
Eh,
seen one
with high.
recently.
I mean, he just had highlighter on him. Um, it wasn't
Yeah.
really a Goliath. No, I think it captured the essence of the game really well.
Yeah.
It really did a good job. Um, once again, shout out to the people who use material components when they cast the spell. Um, you know, like having the focus, having the bard do a distraction, like everything. No, I just thought it was like all the spells. I can't believe they fell for another carpet sand trap. Like when that happened, like I started laughing out loud, and my wife's like, "What's so funny?" And I was like, "I'll tell you later."
this is this has
It's
happened.
like, I just can't believe they did it again.
Oh yeah.
No, it's just no, I liked it.
Okay.
I thought it was really good.
Cool.
Yeah. How about
Cool.
yourself?
I really enjoyed this movie. I don't know if it's as good as the Book of Vile Evil, but it's
Shut up. I mean, it was kind of in the same vein,
it was a lot in the same. It was
It was
better comedy for
well.
sure.
What I mean by that is like what the first movie did not do well was have a party. What the second
Right.
movie did was it was like we're gonna have a party of people, and they're all gonna play their part, and one of them's gonna jump into the mouth of a white dragon. And then the second one was your classic good guy pretending to be a bad guy story for the entire thing. In this one, it was, yeah, there's a party of people, and yeah, there's a main character,
Right.
but it's a movie about redemption for all of them. Like every single character gets redeemed except for um what's her face? Doric, the tiefling druid. Mainly because she's the only one who hasn't done anything wrong or bad. She protects nature.
Yeah, she's a druid. Yeah.
Yeah, she's already one of the good guys. But for the uh Zink, not Zink, but Holga, Edgin, and Simon all get redeemed at the end. Like they all overcome whatever's they're overcome. And then one of them falls in love with a halfling. So again,
Again.
when Bradley Cooper showed up on screen, did you just start laughing out loud?
Yeah, I laughed. I'll laugh. Look, did you expect her ex-husband to be a halfling? Like, out of all
No.
the jokes, like the visual joke, and then they doubled down on it by having the other barbarian, his current paramour, walk in on them talking.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, she's been replaced, and then they triple downed on that joke when she's given eyes to the halfling giving the medals at the very end. She's like, "Hey, what's up?"
No, I didn't expect it.
It's
No,
good. It's
I
really
didn't see
good,
it
man.
coming.
I
Like,
really liked this film. It is better than the other three movies um, by a long shot. Not just because of the better actors and the higher budget, but you could tell that maybe it is because of the higher budget a little bit, but they definitely treated the source material very, very well. They definitely caught the essence of what it's like to play Dungeons and Dragons. There's the one character who's super serious the whole time. There's the one character who just can't take anything seriously. The plot is is this huge world-ending thing, you know, uh, for whatever reason.
yeah.
There's the uh, there's the overcomplicated puzzle that the players screw up right away, and you have to give them an out. So you give them a staff that creates portals
Yeah.
because I guess that's what we'll do on a whim because you
Yeah, what's
destroyed the
that?
bridge.
Oh, it's a walking stick. No, it's not.
No, it's not. He twists it.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
hither
yeah.
to their
Well,
staff.
roll an Arcana check real quick. Would you roll a 10? That's close enough. Make it, study it for 5 minutes.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I
Oh,
think
my
that
goodness.
I agree for sure. This, and it could be possible, and this could totally be a thing that since, especially during the pandemic, I think is when Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop role playing games, Pathfinder, you can start naming some other ones if you want. Death Watch,
13th
um,
Age,
yeah,
Starfinder. Yeah.
yeah. All these games started gaining prevalence because there wasn't anything for us to really do. We couldn't leave our homes if you were smart and didn't want to get COVID like an idiot. Um,
What if I was smart but wanted? Never mind. Never mind. Keep going. Keep
Let me
going.
rephrase that question. If you intentionally didn't do what you're supposed to do and got COVID, and so like, is it possible that all along? Because I don't know how long this movie's been in development. I didn't really check,
Let's
but I
see.
have a feeling that like the people who wrote this movie got contributions from people who were like, no, that's not what would happen in a game. Like it, like the
Mm,
like maybe they had some consultants who came in and were like, look, if you're gonna do this, you got to do it right, and the way to do it is it's got to be fun. Like the problem with the first movie, aside from its issues with the director and the producer becoming the director and being in
right. Right.
development hell for a while, is it just wasn't a lot of fun. Like there wasn't anything entertaining about it, aside from the fact when Snails died. So yeah, let's see. In May 2013,
Yeah. There's a
uh,
long like if you read through the Wikipedia paragraphs about the development of this movie.
yeah, here by January
I guess.
2020,
Yeah.
Goldstein and Daly announced that they had co-written a new draft of the script. Um, Goldstein stated that Ours is a movie that doesn't take itself with great seriousness, but it's never a spoof. It honors the world of D&D and celebrates, but hopefully gives it an audience an engaging and fun ride. And they nailed it.
Yeah.
Like here, influences include The Princess Bride, Monty Python and Holy Grail, Lord of the Rings, and Indiana Jones.
Sure. I can see
Speaking
it.
of, there was an Indiana Jones trailer that dropped this morning. I don't know if
I
you had a
watched
chance
it.
to watch it.
I watched it. Did you?
Yeah.
You said you haven't had a chance.
No, I did watch it. Yeah.
All look. I know that today's been the day for controversial takes. So I'm
You gonna
gonna
give another one?
I'm gonna give another one. I'm gonna pile on.
Hot take.
If Shia LaBeouf's not in this movie, it's not worth watching.
Yeah, Crystal Skull wasn't that bad.
I
It
liked
really
it.
was. It really wasn't. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, yeah.
I like my favorite part of that with coming out of that movie is our mutual friend, Brandon, saying that he's like, I can't believe that he swung on the vines with the monkeys. And I was like, that's the part,
Yeah,
right?
that's. I
Like
remember him talking to me
that.
about that as well. Like that's really where he
Yeah.
lost
So
it.
you mean so in Last Crusade when the plane crashes into the tunnel and its wings get knocked off, and then they're driving past it in the car, and then the flaming 1,000-pound plane is
Oh
scraping on the ground past them, and the pilot looks at them, looks at the plane, looks at them again, and then explodes when it comes out of the tunnel, and they just drive through it, and
man.
nothing happens to them.
Yeah.
But
Or they.
old SB swinging on some vines is the problem. That's where you get me. Oh, so the part when they jump out of the plane and use an
Yeah.
inflatable raft as a parachute slash snow sled,
Yep.
and they go down a mountain and they survive the entire trip. That's okay.
Yeah.
When the guy
That's
gets his
great.
heart almost pulled out of his chest. Oh no, I'm sorry. He does get his heart pulled out of his chest, and he's still alive.
Uh huh.
It's some monkeys.
But
That's
it's
probably
you
some monkeys.
swing it on vines.
Yeah, just yeah,
Tarzaning it up. How dare you?
yeah. I just. I think the other part of that movie I didn't like is when he got in the fridge.
Whatever. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, no, it is funny, but it's the only part I was, eh.
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah.
But then I played Fallout New Vegas like 2 years later, and I found him.
Gosh. All right. We went. That was so. There's our review of King of the Crystal Skull. Better
Good
than you
movie.
remember.
Check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out, especially if you liked the first three movies. I think you'll really enjoy the fourth one.
And it had Ray Winstone in it, so shout out
Yeah.
with the triple cross, right? Yeah. Yeah. He had the triple cross.
Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Wow. So I don't know how long. So pre-production, but Chris Pine was cast in December of 2020. So you're talking about how quickly the movie was turned around. It took just about 3 years from casting your lead to releasing the movie. So, not bad. It looks like they were sitting on the property for a while, trying to do something besides direct to Sci-Fi Channel movies for it. I wish somebody would do that for Highlander, but here we are in a world where if you want to watch Highlander, you have to watch some cruddy sci-fi made-for-TV movie, and D&D gets to go on the big screen.
It's probably for the best.
Was there anything in your well, actually, no, I'll answer the question first. I had no problems with this movie from I'm a super nerd and I'm going to dissect the abilities and the setting and would this really happen and is that against rules or blah 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 blah. They stretched some things, but I liked all of it. Was there anything that stood out to you as maybe crossing that line?
No, not really, because I think it's up side effect. He's here, so the comment I'm about to make is he's probably going to piss him off. If your DM is a stickler for rules as written, like
Right.
you may not have the best time. You know, sometimes when you soul kick a dude and steal his boots off at the same time because you're rolling that 20 on your attack roll, and then later on when one of your teammates is trying to get the item back that he wants, and you might metagame a little bit, you know.
Wow.
It happens. It
Wow,
happens.
Chris.
Sorry,
Wow.
side effect.
I also think
no.
that if you attack and try to steal stuff from other players and the DM allows it, then you're in the wrong. You and the GM who allowed the metagaming.
He should have just said that they were for him, and I would have given it to him. I didn't know until afterwards. Until after the session, he's like, "Bro, this was supposed to be my boots." And I was like, "Oh, I thought you were just being a jerk." Sorry, son.
No, you were being a jerk.
No, for sure. No, I definitely was.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't attack anybody. I didn't attack a player for them. It was an enemy.
No.
Yeah, no,
If I recall correctly, you took the boots right off of
no,
Side Effect's feet. Side
there
Effect
was
is in the chat. Side Effect.
no, there was a character. We were getting hired to do a job, and like we were getting backstabbed, and the DM at the time, Tom, described him, and he was wearing these boots, and I kicked him in the chest. I rolled a nat 20 on my attack roll, and I said, "Hey Tom, since I'm so sneaky, when I kicked him, should I be able to steal his boots off at the same time?" And he laughed out loud and said, "Make a roll." And I rolled a successful stealth check, and I stole them.
No, I thought it
So
was. I don't remember.
no,
I thought you took them right off of the PC's feet. But
no, I would never do that to Josh.
yeah, old boot stealer.
Old boot stealer McGee.
That's your new handle. Boot stealer.
No,
Jeez.
I did try to kill a party member when he blew us up with cannons.
I
did do
remember that. I remember because I fudged my rolls in order to not kill him. Because I'm what we call a good person.
We did do we did do that. We warned him. We warned him out of character.
You looked across the table and said, "If you shoot those cannons at my character, I will kill you."
Yeah, I'm gonna do. My guy is a cold-blooded killer. He will stab you to death. I fire the cannons.
All right, let's go. God, that was a dumb table.
Yeah, I mean, he got what he deserved.
Yeah, yeah. I just remember him looking across because I sat right across the dining room table, the rectangle dining room table from the guy, and he, I rolled what I rolled. He saw what I rolled, and he looked at me, and the look in his eyes, and I just like took one of my dice and put it just a little bit lower, so he was down to like 2 HP instead of dead. He's just seen it. Thank you. I'm just like, yeah, well, this was mercy that you didn't deserve.
Yeah.
It was also the guy who used a countdown die instead of an actual D20. So whatever.
You know, it is what it be. No,
Anyways,
so
Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
yeah.
Honor
No,
Among Thieves.
in terms of like, I've never really been that big of a stickler for the rules as written. And I don't necessarily think that would even translate to the screen in any way. I mean,
Sure.
like if people who don't know, who have never played Dungeons and Dragons, a turn technically should only take 5 seconds. And so like, at the scene where when Simon is casting the projection spell or the illusion or whatever it is, like, it's funny. Is it 6 seconds? I thought it was 5 seconds. I could be wrong. Oh, no, it would make sense. 6 seconds. Yeah. 10 turns in a minute. You're right. I'm 5 from the 5 foot square. It's 5 square foot.
You're still fake nerd.
Tile.
Still fake
Right?
nerd.
Yeah, I guess. No, but like he loses his concentration because he gets his foot stuck.
Right.
Like, that's hysterical. Like it wasn't even really uneven terrain, so I'm not sure how he got his foot stuck. But
He rolled a 1 on his run check.
I know. I guess it would be that would have to be a Constitution check, right? Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, to get your foot stuck in a hole in the ground. Idiot.
It's pretty stupid. It was pretty stupid.
Yeah,
He was my favorite character.
Simon, he was pretty good.
Simon was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Holga obviously had the best action scenes, but Simon, the half elf, really wishes he was a higher level wizard. That's
Nobody's
what's up.
sorcerer.
Yeah, I didn't have any trouble. I didn't have any problems with anything. Like I said, I'm also not a stickler for the rules in any game I've ever played or DM'd, whether it's D&D or something else. I mean, the number one rule is to have fun, right? So as long as you're fair, and if you are breaking the rules, you're breaking them for the sake of fun or fairness.
Yeah.
Who cares, right?
Like when Dean Winchester shows up in your game.
Yeah. You're just going to keep bringing up that one game. That was pretty bad. For the record, I was not the DM for that. That was some other guy.
No, it was definitely not you.
Not me. Not me. It's not how I roll. No? Okay. I tried. Do you expect a sequel?
I don't know. Like, it's just I'm not sure. Like, the only way that you could really make a sequel to this movie, because I think it was the same problem with the first Dungeons and Dragons movie, because they end the quote unquote campaign
Right.
as heroes,
Right.
right? And um, then they disappear. So I'm just not sure how you make a sequel to this movie unless, you know, maybe Steph Straw Games, we're gonna do spoilers here in a second. Okay, your time's up. When Hugh Grant goes to prison,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like how do you make a sequel to this movie where I don't know, like I don't want to do the thing we normally do where we rewrite the plot of a bad movie because this isn't a bad movie.
Right.
But I just don't know. I can't even speculate how you'd make a sequel to this particular story unless you have them go to a completely different place. Like they leave
Well,
Neverwinter.
I don't know if Neverwinter is big.
Right, right,
You
right.
know, the Forgotten Realms are the setting is really really nice. Do you think? So I haven't looked through any lists as far as like um, trivia or Easter eggs. I did see that one of the parties that were trapped in the arena with them was the party from the or all the characters from the early '80s D&D cartoon show,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
which was pretty funny. But I don't think we got any cameos from established characters in the Forgotten Realms lore. Like Dritz didn't show up, Canterbury or whatever.
Yeah.
Like as far as I know,
I didn't see them. I didn't see a
would you have
single
liked
drow.
that type of acknowledgement? Do you
Uh,
want that in a sequel? Like maybe the sequel just it doesn't have to have all this whole cast. It has one or
yeah.
two of them. Obviously, probably Edrin, Chris Pine's character, but throw in somebody else.
Yeah, I
Throw
mean,
in Dritz or someone. I don't know
I
if
don't see
Dritz
why
is the right
not.
choice, but
I mean, well, I mean, there's so many, like there's Elminster,
mm-hmm.
um they could like there's the what's her name, Lady Falcon, Falcon Rest, Falcon Head or whatever from Silvery Moon. I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
so many things that they could do. Like it's just like I mean they talked about Thay, they could go back to Thay.
Yeah.
Like that could be fun. Um maybe Falcon Crest is her name. I don't know. Like they didn't really get involved with the gods. That's the whole
A whole other. That's yeah, but
thing.
this is as far as lore goes. They're keeping it
Yeah.
easy,
Right, right,
right?
right.
Like
Sure.
there's a
I'm just
dragon.
saying.
Like yeah,
Yeah. There was a dragon and a dungeon.
there were a
Dungeons and
couple of
Dragons.
dungeons
Yeah.
and
Who
then one
knew?
dragon. You have to
Who
have
knew
it.
that? Who knew
The,
you could do that?
the problem with calling it Dungeons and Dragons is that you have to have a dragon in every movie, or is it actually Dungeons and Dragons? You know how much Dungeons and Dragons I've played and how little dragons were involved?
More, less dragons, more dungeons.
Lots of dungeons. It's
Yeah.
like dungeons over dragons.
Definitely skewed. The
It's
ratio is problematic. No. I guess what I meant by that is, since they did dip their toe into it, like when they did the
yeah,
big, if I remember right, they did like an overworld map for a second, and you
a
saw
couple
a
of
couple
times.
different
Yeah, yeah.
places. And there's just so many other places you could go. I just meant that like I wouldn't have a problem with them doing that because since it's such a big, expansive world, I just also don't know how many characters they would want to bring back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
would you want Chris Pine to come back and leave his kid again?
Again. Well, you give it some time, and the kid is an adult off having her
Yeah,
own adventures.
sure.
You
Why
know,
not?
I mean,
She
she's
could
a
come with him.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just a thought, or maybe just even if it's just a cameo from like Wolfgar or, um, oh, what is the dwarf?
Bruner,
Bruno.
Brunor,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Battlehammer.
Which awesome name, awesome. Um, distinct lack of dwarves in the party, I felt, but I guess they didn't want to be the Hobbit or Lord of the Rings.
I like it's just um if you like unfortunately if you're gonna portray a dwarf in media, you're gonna make him a joke. Like
I mean, I
it's just
guess.
it's I mean, I'm not saying that that's what I would do. I'm just saying that's what movie executives decide. right? They're like, cool,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a dwarf in here. He's an idiot. Like
Yeah.
it's just like he's got to be a drunken fool who's a mess. Like like you, whereas in The Hobbit or in Lord of the Rings,
Hmm.
Gimli, while at sometimes comic relief is like a I wouldn't even say they're a vital character to the movie, but they're just like they're stalwart. They're like they're a good rock to bounce things off of. Like you definitely get the difference in how they're portrayed as in the other Dungeons and Dragons movie. Eh, um, but I mean, in the
Yeah.
Hobbit, you have all these different dwarves, you have all these different personalities, but there's a group of them, so it's easy, like, to not make one of them an idiot. Where, because if you do that for one of them, then you're doing it for all of them, kind of. Um,
I don't
so
know. Yeah,
I'm fine with the representation that they had.
sure.
Like, were there a lot of humans? Yeah, I mean there were two, right? Technically three. Um, but overall, I mean a tiefling and a half elf. I mean, when
Yeah,
was the last
tiefling and a half
when
elf.
was the last time you saw someone play a tiefling at a table? So I mean,
It's
like,
been a minute.
yeah.
Um,
Did she have hooves?
I
I didn't. We didn't see her hooves.
don't know if she had hooves actually.
Hmm. Need a deep dive.
Yeah, look up
Google Google Doric's feet.
dork's feet.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Kat. Don't do it. But if you are gonna do it in a private tab.
Yeah. Jeez. Wow. Uh Kat just said in our chat, no, no, thank you. Very
Let's
nice.
see.
Overall, worth going and seeing the theater. If like you're catching this and it's still in the theater wherever you're at, I think it's worth paying the money. It was a lot of fun to see in the theater. I laughed a lot. The action was really good. If you decide to wait to see it at home, that's fine too. Definitely
Yeah.
watch it at home. Uh, but you should watch it. I think you should
Yeah.
watch it.
I think I agree definitely. Like what a lot of people I think miss is that a movie like this it's supposed to be fun, like and if you're going to go see it in theaters, the best part about a big movie like this is the fact that you can watch it on a huge screen. Uh and so and you get to be in a room full of people who are probably more than interested in what you're watching, you know
Yeah.
like as you know my issues with the Force Awakens aside, like, that was a
Yeah.
fun movie to see in the theater. Revenge of the Sith was a great movie to see in the theater. Like some of the Harry Potter films I saw with the people I went to go see them with, like the cheering. I think a lot like an in game, when um what's his face? Captain America, you
Yeah.
know, gets the
Yeah.
shield and everyone's like, "Yeah."
Oh, he does it, and then he gets the hammer, and then yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, he has
He,
a shield the whole time. You're right. Yeah, when
yeah, I
he,
would
when he
say
gets the
he's kind of
hammer.
known for the shield. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know this or not. Captain
Captain
America's
America has a shield?
he uses the
What?
shield. Yeah. Did
Oh,
you see
dang.
John Wick 4 yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. I had the crowd. I had people clap in the theater during John Wick Chapter 4.
You can clap in the movie theater, but just don't clap in the plane lands. That's all I'm saying.
I hate when people clap in the plane lands. I hate it so much.
Look, no one ever claps for me whenever I've reset their password.
No one ever claps for me
Oh,
when
I
I
can
pull into my
check.
driveway without hitting the garage door.
I can check my email again. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Go, Chris. You're
Are you
welcome.
comparing being a pilot?
It's a job. Just because you go to school and pay thousands of dollars to fly a multi-ton aircraft,
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
still what you do from 9 to 5. I'm
I
just
mean,
saying.
it could be. Look,
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna give you some claps. Don't worry. There you go.
I don't need them.
No, they're in the chat.
I don't need your
I got
pity
you.
claps. I don't need
I
them.
got you. Jesus. All right. So you agree? Worth the price of subscription? Worth the $10 movie ticket?
Worth the price of admission and
Admission.
subscription when the time comes.
Very nice. Did you have an idiot? of the movie?
Uh, I guess it would be the guy who wrote a spell that said you have to ask what 5 questions. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like we didn't really talk about it, but probably the funniest scene in the movie. What's your favorite food? Yeah, what's your favorite color? Yeah, what do you do for fun? Like, it's just like kind of like you just run out of questions to ask people, right? Or I mean, I want to introduce a new segment
Mm,
after you give me your idiot of the movie. So
okay. My idiot of the movie is this cat stole it. It's Jonathan
for doing the same thing again.
for allowing himself to be ambushed by multiple prisoners. And I guess
I really,
also I don't know,
I really think Jonathan should be here. I got to tell
should
him
be here
about
for
it.
this.
No, I really think my story would connect with it.
Yeah, Jonathan. Jonathan's my idiot. And also my answer for who is Kelsey Grammer.
Okay,
Jonathan. In the
Hmm.
makeup with wings and the whole bit. Yeah.
it's just the voice.
It's just no, they do practical effects.
I so I'll give my KG here in a second.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'll do it right now. Um, it would probably be Lord Neverwinter because we
No,
only
he
ever
just-
see him at the end.
It just wakes
So when he
up
just
at the end.
wakes up, it's just Kelsey Grammer. And then
Lord Neverember.
the scene immediately cuts to the next scene. You're like, was that Kelsey Grammer? Like that's what I would want.
Like Brad Pitt's
Um,
cameo in Deadpool 2.
yeah,
Wait, was
yeah.
that Brad Pitt?
Yeah, hold on a
It's gone.
second. Yeah, I want to introduce a new segment.
Okay.
Um, I don't know what to name it yet, but I want it to be a complete inverse of Idiot of the Movie.
Oh.
And the person I want to give it to is the guy who bricked over the window in the dungeon. Because when he grabs Jonathan, I was like, oh no. And then when they slam into the tapestry and then it zooms out. No, not Savior, because he doesn't really save anything, but just like the good idea machine.
Genius. Genius of the movie.
Yeah, not even well, it's not genius.
Well,
Just
the other
not-
guys aren't necessarily always idiots.
That's fair.
We'll workshop.
We'll workshop it. Workshop it. But antonym of idiot, layman, not idiot. No, but yeah, no. When he slams into the tapestry and you just see the brick wall, like I cackled. Like
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I laughed at certain parts, but like I cracked up when I saw that. Like I laughed out loud and almost choked on popcorn. Like don't ask me why I still had popcorn at the end of the movie, but I almost did it. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
That's good. I guess I would
The intellectual of the movie. Yeah.
or
Intellectual. I like
would
that.
you just look up the opposite of idiot? Yeah, here it is. Intellectual, precocious, bright,
No,
brainy.
well, that's genius. We're just talking about someone who's just not an idiot. I mean, in this case, it would be the handyman, the handyman of the movie,
rocket
the
scientist,
contractor. Yeah.
the wise guy of the movie.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
A sage.
No, it's a class.
A
No,
savant.
that's a character.
Oh,
I
man.
think wise guy. I think wise guy
Wise
of the
guy
movie.
works.
Yeah.
I would also have to like. Here's the thing. I can't agree with you because I actually don't know if they bricked over that window or if they're just in a different room.
No, I think they're in the same window. I think they're in the same room.
It looks like they've got the same get up, but I mean it's a
Yeah.
big tower.
Yeah, but when
They could be in an interior room.
but when they get slammed through, like it's the exact same shot, and so when they zoom out, like
Mm.
if there's the same porthole, is brick cheaper than a window?
I
I don't
think-
know the answer to the question.
I don't know.
I mean, back then,
I don't know what
mean,
labor is like.
if you would if you know anything about stained glass and lead windows, I think it would be more labor intensive to make the window. But in a world where you can
Magic.
create an illusion of Chris Pine, I'm pretty sure you could just, or you can make a hand out of cobblestones, or you can turn a dragon or a statue into a live dragon. I think that you could just make another window. No, I think they just bricked it over because they were like, "This is an oversight.
This was an oversight.
How
This
did
is
this
like
happen? Well, no one's ever thought of it. I don't know, boss.
they're
Just
jumping out. We were gonna approve your release.
yeah,
What are
we
you,
can pardon you. What are you doing?
what are you
Yeah,
doing?
no, I can just
Oh
imagine
man.
the tower maintenance. And they're just like, "How did this happen?" It's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, no one's ever thought about kidnapping the Aarakocra." It's just like,
All right.
just brick it over, man. Just
Level
I don't
level
care.
with me. Level with me, Chris.
Mm. I'm now level 10. I've gained. I'm not gonna get that joke going.
Snails.
No,
If
enough.
listen, let me finish. If one of the other parties in the arena had been the party from D&D 2000, better or worse movie?
Um, if he gets killed by a displacer beast, better. Any way that he can just die, I'm in.
Snails just gets destroyed by a
Yeah,
mimic.
I don't care. I just don't want him around. You know what? He could have been one of the people at the gambling table turned into a zombie. How about that? How about that?
Fair enough.
I think like the the ending sequence with the balloon and the portal, uh like definitely genius.
Oh yeah.
Like absolutely fantastic. It's like, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna keep my promise to Zinc. The balloon starts flying away and the treasure starts coming out of it. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know that happened. You know that happened at a table.
Oh yeah.
Someone was like,
We should
hmm.
like we kind of teased it and we talked about it a little bit, but I don't think it's coming together. Us like playing a game, playing some D&D for the podcast. I mean, getting a game together in real life is hard enough, but getting it together to broadcast or stream or whatever is even worse.
Yeah.
So it might not happen for this month or whatever we're doing with all this D&D uh, theme stuff or D&D topics, but I think we should. And if not D&D, then some other system, whether it's another science fiction or fantasy system, it doesn't matter. It could be really good. It would be a
Clayton
lot of
Grover.
fun
Yeah.
for the fans to get to see what it's like to interact with you.
Look, I have changed um in in my years. I'm much more mature. Uh just don't let me play a drow rogue and I'll
Yeah.
do whatever I can to not do that. It's just so easy.
It's just so easy.
It's so easy to steal stuff when you can just cast darkness on somebody's head. Oh, I can't see. Where's all my stuff? I don't know.
Oh, oh, that's
Why are you
good.
jingling when you walk? I don't know. It just happened that way. It just happened.
With the D&D movie release, does that I should this one, sorry, with Honor Among Thieves specifically, doing really well. Is that good news for Mythica or other fantasy properties? Like, are we going to start to see more fantasy movies?
Well, so when did that one Tom Cruise movie come out? Hold on. Oblivion,
Tom Cruise.
2013.
Amazing.
So in 2013, Oblivion and a couple of um sci-fi movies came out. Like
Sure.
it was like the year of science fiction, and I was like, wow. And then they were less science fiction and just kind of more vehicles. Um, but then again, Edge of Tomorrow came out. You know, Battleship, Planet, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes from 2012 to 2014. That like that little era. There was a
Hmm.
little nice little run of science fiction. And I think it's been long enough from The Hobbit to where we
Yeah.
could have a nice little fantasy run.
Okay.
Um, like I think it's certainly possible. I don't know if it'll happen.
I mean, we're getting another Mythica movie.
Yeah.
It's the same vein, right? Direct to DVD or whatever. It'll be a lower budget, obviously. Um, there's talk of a D&D television show. We just had the Rings of Power and Wheel of Time television shows, for better or for worse. So I think fantasy's been hitting, especially with Game of Thrones. Fantasy's been hitting television pretty well the last few years,
Hmm.
but it hasn't really hit movies. Hasn't been the big screen, right? The silver screen or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm hoping that this can maybe give us some other properties, even if it's just original, uh, non-licensed work. I'd
Yeah.
like to see more fantasy hit
Well,
the movie theaters.
Kat's kind of right. Like if you look at what she's looking at now, I mean, there's just a lot of um, Star Wars because
Oh,
technically that's
yeah.
fantasy. So
I mean, yeah,
I get what you're saying though. Like
yeah,
definitely there needs to be more just straight like sword and shield fantasy. Like there just needs to be more of that. I think. Um,
exactly. Yeah, sword and shield fantasy is
yeah,
what I would call it. Yeah.
yeah. I just don't like. I mean, the time's right because when did the last Hobbit movie come out?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Desolation of Smaug, 2013. So yeah, I
10
mean,
years.
yeah, it's about that time.
Yeah. We can
So
try again. We can try
unless you
again.
consider Pirates of the Caribbean or
They're
Caribbean
fantasy
fantasy,
films
yeah,
for sure. They're swashbuckling adventure films, but they're not. It's not the same thing, right?
yeah,
Definitely not the same thing. I don't know. Well, I'm hoping this will, start something. Hopefully, this is just our next bubble. We're getting out of the MCU. For some
right into
reason,
the DCE. No,
some reason DC never figured it out. That whole bubble, the bubble came and went,
yeah,
and they're like, "We got
yeah,
3 good movies. We can't
yeah.
figure our shit out."
Well, no, well, the problem is they were like they pardon my language, they blew their wad with the Christopher Nolan Batman movies.
Oh yeah,
Like the Dark Knight is one of the best movies I've ever seen. It just happened to also be a quote unquote superhero movie.
yeah.
And
It's as
so
those movies are as not like they're the least
right,
genre of that genre. Yeah,
yeah, they just but I mean people are gonna group them in there together, and so they couldn't copy that because they wanted to do what Marvel was doing and have like and I don't want to say campy, but they wanted to have like fun but serious, and they just could never
yeah.
figure it out. And
I
then
saw Justice League.
yeah,
Joss
well,
Whedon cut. Yeah,
I was gonna say that the one time they gave someone like the juice to make a serious film, you know screwed it up. he, just, he just couldn't do it, and then he
yeah.
made the Snyder cut, which is 7.5 hours.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to. We've discussed that before. We have
Yeah,
older
yeah.
episodes
I
about
don't
the
want to talk
Snyder
about it.
cut and all that. We don't talk like it's not like Zack Snyder just up and left for no reason from production.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
mean, but he ruined Batman v Superman. Is I guess what I'm saying.
Look, would love suggestions for other science fiction or fantasy
Yeah, 5 minute fight scene.
movies, television shows, shorts, whatever. If it's media, new or old, and we haven't reviewed it already, let us know about it, and we'll be more than happy to watch it, uh, no matter how torturous, and then give you our opinions on it. You can reach out to us multiple ways. Our email address is sci-fi wiseguys@gmail.com. You can hit us up on social media, I guess, at Sci-Fi Wise Guys. Um, Twitter is pretty dead, and we don't, we're pretty bad about keeping up with the socials, but we do get alerts for the DMs, or if we get added or anything like that. So even if it seems like we don't post a lot or
Yeah.
whatever, you can still reach out to us there. Not a problem at all.
Yeah, if you have a suggestion for a social media that we can use to shill our podcast,
Yeah.
email me at sci-fi-wiseguys@gmail.com along with your suggestion.
Yes. We also have a Discord, which you can find links to at all of those other places.
Yeah. Stay healthy. Stay hydrated. And don't get your foot stuck when you're concentrating on an illusion spell.
Yeah. If you are a Falcon person, don't walk by open windows.
It wasn't open.
Don't walk by windows around prisoners.
Yeah. They're prisoners. They're in prison for a reason.
They are in prison for a reason. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Night.